Hello, the internet. Welcome back to another episode of Dbacks Dispatch. We are your hosts, Gabriel and Brandon. It's just the duo for today. Brent can't join us for today. Might be out for a little bit longer, for at least maybe a couple shows or so. But we have him in our thoughts. Just going through some personal family matters. But I just want to welcome everybody on here to DBAX Dispatch. Anybody who's right now in the YouTube comments and chat, welcome on in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, as well as hitting the notification bell so you don't miss another episode. Like, it really does help. Like, there's a lot of times when people go live, you just don't find out about it until it's after it's happened. So it really does help out the show, as well as rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you may listen to us. Just check us out also on Twitter, on Discord, TikTok, Instagram. We should probably be trying to post a little bit more on TikTok. It's just so many social media. It's literally just a couple of us handling it most of the time. So it's a little difficult. But you can also find the written articles on AZ Snake Pit. So you can get all your written articles on there. It's free. Same as the Discord. The link will be in our description. It's free. It's a lot of fun in there. So be sure to join on in. So without further ado, let's get down to it. The Diamondbacks dropped another series. This is, I believe, what, their third consecutive series that they've dropped so far.
I believe it's third.
The third, it was Milwaukee, Chicago, and now Pittsburgh that they've dropped their three consecutive series, and they haven't been able to win in about five series. Especially going back to the White Sox series. Diamondbacks are now 17-19 after losing the series to the Pittsburgh Pirates, who they have looked pretty good pitching wise. Offensively, they just really haven't been all that good. Like, in my opinion, like, the Diamondbacks really shut them down. It was really fun to see that, at least from the pitching standpoint. They only scored 5 runs as a whole on the pitching staff. All 5 runs came on the starting pitchers. I believe the bullpen didn't allow a single run in this series, so that was great to see, at least from the pitching standpoint. But I want to get your thoughts, Brandon, before we start. What were your thoughts on the series as a whole? Like, anything that stood out to you? We do have a couple of things that we're gonna break down here, but what were your thoughts on it as a whole? Like, how'd you feel watching? How'd you feel watching Paul Skeens just absolutely shove on this team?
I thought our starting pitching was the MVP of this series for us. Like we had talked about how bad the starting pitching had been the last 2 weeks. Like, it had been our Achilles heel the last 2 weeks. Like, they got us right out of the game, right off the bat. They would always struggle in the first inning, but starting pitching really pitched really well. Eri was fantastic in game one. Soroka basically matched Skeens pitch for pitch. Yes, he did give up the home run to Lowe on just a great swing by Lowe. Like, it was a changeup right on the black, right where you want him to throw it. Lowe just got a really good swing on it, and he hit it deep to center. Like, deep, like, he got all of that. And that was the only run in game two. Gallon was cruising. Gallon looked good, and then he struggled there in the fifth inning. I think it was like a 30 pitch inning or something there, and most of it was with 2 outs. He got 2 outs pretty easily, and he just kind of just struggled. Like, I think they had 4 straight hits there in the fifth inning, so just kind of struggled late, but he did end up going 6. I believe so. So, starting pitching was really, really, really good in this series. My prediction did come true. I did say Soroka would have a quality start and he would match Skeens. So I was pretty happy with that. It's 2 series in a row that my prediction has pretty much come true. So maybe I can do this prediction thing, or I've gotten lucky the last 2 series. So I'm hoping that this is a sign for starting pitching to pitch well. It is funny that it was either Monday or Tuesday. Torrey brought the entire starting pitching staff into his office, and it's very, like, John Madden-esque, like, throw strikes, don't throw balls. Like, that's how you win that's literally how you win the game. But apparently, whatever he said, and, like, that's not normally what he does. He is not a get on you type of manager. It's just not the way Torrey is. but he did, and it seemed to work. So I'm hoping going forward we're gonna start seeing all of the starting pitching and not just in this series pitch really well and keep us in games. We need our big three on offense to get going. Like Marte is he's not hitting well. He's not playing well. Um, Perdomo's playing pretty well at the plate. Carroll had a home run in this series, but his average has dropped like 50 points in the last 2 weeks, so he's also
Yeah.
been struggling. But we like this offense goes as those three go.
Yeah, and I kind of want to touch on the pitching in general, but I do want to bring up Torey Lovullo's comments where they had a press conference and did mention that he brought in all the pitching staff together, at least the starting pitching staff, and just basically got on them. And the messaging, like you said, it like sort of John Madden or I don't even know how to describe it. It's just very much like a no duh, like that gif of I don't know, is it ASAP Rocky or whatever? They're on the computer, they're like surprised or shocked or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
oh no, duh, didn't think about that, coach. Like, yeah, like I think none of these guys ever thought to throw a strike. Like poor Brandon Fott wasn't a part of that meeting, so like Ryan Nelson or somebody had to tell him like, hey, by the way, Torrey said to throw more strikes instead of balls, and so. But I get the messaging. Like it's just funny, just being the way it's described. But obviously, like I don't think Torrey just said that. I think he probably just hit the message more that they got to be in the zone because these last couple of years, it seemed like they were nibbling a lot more than usual, maybe a little more scared to pitch, which is what we what we didn't see early on in the season when this pitching staff was going really well, which was they were attacking guys, they're throwing pitches in the zone, they weren't really nibbling, and then once they started to have these struggles, they were. But that's why I wanted to bring up the travel as well on the last episode because it really felt like during that Mexico City trip, it really seemed like it just knocked these guys all out of sorts, especially the pitching staff. Like we talked about Ryan Nelson. Like I want to see how he looks outside of Mexico City, or Zach Young. Let's see what they look like outside of Mexico City. And so far, going through the rest of these games, they truly haven't been terrible. I mean, I guess after coming back, I mean, it just shows the results right here, how they've looked in Chase Field, which is a more high offensive environment, but they were able to hold the Pirates to 5 runs total. We were talking about 27 innings where they just gave up 5 runs. I mean, that's really impressive. Even Zach Gallen, who didn't have the best start, he went 6 innings. He gave up 4 runs. That's enough to win you the game or just keep you in the game and competitive. But unfortunately, this offense was just, after that first game, was just absolutely awful. But we're going to start off with the starting pitching, talking about them first. So the first game Tuesday, Eduardo Rodriguez looked really, really good. It's the best he's looked in a few games, I think. 7 innings, 2 hits, three walks, and 7 strikeouts. He's now at 3-0 on the season, 2.50 ERA and 39 and two-thirds innings pitched, 29 strikeouts. The whip is weirdly high. I think that's where a lot of the expected ERA comes from, which is, I believe, a lot higher than his actual ERA is. But the whip is 1.29 for Erod, but he gets guys on base. He gets the double plays to get those guys off of the base. Like he was seemingly, getting guys out at will. Like I was
his
at this game.
expected is literally double what his actual
Yeah,
ERA is. It's
I think
four
that
point seven.
I think that's just gonna happen when you have guys on basically every inning, which is what Erod does. But like I said, he gets a guy on first. Second, like the next pitch he throws, it's like a changeup or whatever. They ground it into double play, and then the guy's off the base, and the inning continues. And that's seemingly what he was doing here. There's an inning where he got a couple men on, was really actually looking like he was in some trouble. A couple pitches later, ground ball, double play, then just another ground ball out, and then he was out of the inning like as if nothing happened. But this game was good overall. But I want to talk about the Dbacks approach. Like I feel going to be jumping around everywhere, but I'll keep that for later. But what were your thoughts on Erod? How did you feel watching him? Do you think, obviously, none of us are expecting him to go 7 innings every single time, but do you think at least for him the messaging worked? Do you think that he was attacking batters, or what do you think was working specifically for Erod in this start?
I gotta remember. I believe it was his like he was throwing that curveball. He had all the confidence in the world in his curveball in this one. Yeah, threw it 14% of the time. Had 8 swings, so he was getting some whiffs on that. Um, so not too bad. Um, I just thought like he was in control. Like he was pinpoint. The pitches were going where he needed them to. It was a great game called by Gabby. So I think they were both on the same page throughout this start, and the end result really showed it. Like he went 7 shutout innings, got a decent amount of strikeouts there with 7 in 7 innings. Like that's what you like to see. The one per inning, like that's really really good. So I'm hoping that he can continue uh, to just have quality start after quality start. Like I don't expect him to have that 2.5 ERA all season. Could he be at 3.5? Could he be 3.8? Yeah, I definitely think he could when his off speed stuff just works so well. Like most of the time, it's his changeup that's working. But in this start, it was really his curveball for me, is what I noticed.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a change of pace for Erod. Like those last few starts, he had been basically spamming that changeup, and we talked about it before with both him and Merrill. That like once that changeup isn't working, then he has to look for something else because it just plays off so well off of the fastball. But the changeup's not working. There was missing two outside, and guys are just seeing it, and they're just not going to swing at it. And that's when he kept getting into trouble his last few games. He didn't give up a lot of runs, but he just wasn't able to go too deep into games. Well, at least the game in what was it, Milwaukee or Chicago, he could have gone deep, but they took him out with 85 pitches. So
Milwaukee. Yeah, that
great
was the
job on that
one.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, that was the one that you basically brought up. Like he got pulled at like 4 2/3 at like 84 pitches, but like the next
with two outs.
game,
Yeah,
Kelly goes like 5 at like 105.
yeah, that's like I said, it makes no sense to me. So it was nice to see him actually get the be able to go a distance in this one, get to 7 innings, which Tori said that he Erod basically backed him down and just said like, all right, you get one batter or whatever, and just told him like, no, like I'm gonna do the rest of this game, and look what happened. I mean, they had enough of a lead that it was fine, if he gave up a run or something. But it was just nice to see Erod just telling him like, hey, like sit down, like I'm gonna do this, and he got 103 pitches, which I believe is a season high. So it was nice to see that from Erod. He went 7 innings again, really saved the bullpen. Loizo came out, got the job done in the eighth, and then Braden Garcia came out. His slider is so nasty. That thing comes out at 94, 95 miles per hour. That thing is disgusting. So he looked really, really good. Got two really quick strikeouts, basically to end the game. So this one, Diamondbacks won 9-0. We're going to talk about the offensive output in this game, just combining with the rest, just because despite the 9 runs, there were a lot of red flags to point out in this game as well as the next ones. But in the second game, Diamondbacks lost 1-0, which is one of the more frustrating games I think for everyone here, in which the Diamondbacks only got 2 hits in this game. 2 hits, 1 walk. But Michael Soroka, he also just came out and shoved. He went 6 1/3, 7 hits, 1 run, which was just a home run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. For the season total, he's at 4.14 ERA. It's going to take him a little while to get that ERA down just because he gave up, 7 runs or something like that the last time out. So it's going to take him a little bit longer. But again, he was able to go as far as he could. He turned it over to the bullpen. Ginkgo made quick work. Murillo did quick work. And then Taylor Clark did some quick work against the Pirates as well. So unfortunately, this one ended in a loss. And I think this is one of the more frustrating losses Diamondbacks have had this season, where they only got 2 hits. Really just nothing, just a terrible approach. But again, I want to point out the pitching. So Michael Soroka, what did you see out of him? You said that you thought he was going to go toe-to-toe with Paul Skeens, which, I mean, close. Paul Skeens went 8 innings, but they both had the same amount of strikeouts, 7 strikeouts. So what did you see out of Soroka that you really liked? What was working for him in this start that didn't work for him the last time?
So I was at this game. So from what I could From what I noticed, is it was his slurve that was working. He was definitely getting guys to swing and miss on that slurve, which is his best pitch. When that thing's working, he is a really dominant starting pitcher. So he actually had 6 strikeouts. Um, so not the same as Skeens, but close enough. But really solid outing, like 6 and a third. Yeah, it sucked that he got the loss because he had one pitch that Lau just got a really great swing
I mean,
on.
he
Like
got
it,
he got the Paul Skeens treatment against Paul Skeens.
yeah. Skeens was truly like just wow in this outing. Like there's a reason why he's the best pitcher in baseball, and we saw it in this outing. I mean, the D-backs kind of helped him out a little bit with the approach and game plan that the team instituted in this one. Um, so I don't really understand that approach. Like, wouldn't you want a pitcher to throw more pitches and get out of the game earlier? Why attack him early? But I guess they were worried about all of his secondary stuff is just as good as his fastball, so they were worried that they would not be able to get it do well against his secondary stuff. So bullpen was phenomenal. Ginkgo has been really really good lately. I believe I looked this up the other day. Like his last 7 outings. Yeah, his last 7 games, 7 innings, a .57 WHIP with a 1.29 ERA. So he's only given up one earned run in his last 7 games, and even his last 15 games, his ERA is just over 3, with a just over one WHIP. So Ginkle, are we seeing the resurgence of Ginkle? Is he like maybe so, maybe not. But I'm really enjoying this Ginkgo that we're getting right now, and Juan Murillo is just lights out. He he doesn't give up earned runs at home. I believe he's gone 15 innings in a row without giving up an earned run at Chase Field. So he's like he is truly special. Like just this season, in 9 games at home, he has 11 strikeouts with a .33 WHIP. That's 0.33
Yeah.
WHIP. That is simply phenomenal. That is spectacular. And Taylor Clark really like you just take out that bad outing against the Dodgers. His ERA is down to 2.5. Like that's phenomenal. Oh, sorry, 2.6. Um, I was looking at it wrong. So still 2.6 after that bad outing he had in game 1, or I think it was game 2 of the season, and the fact that he's been able to bounce back is really impressive.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good sign. I think, like I said, guys like Soroka or Erod, like they're not going to be what they were early on, where they had like that 1 ERAs or .5 ERAs. But this is what you're able to get out of them, where they're able to go at least 6 innings or whatever it is. Like we said, like even with Gallen, 6 innings and 4 runs. Like if that's what you're giving the team, that's what you're giving the team. Everybody knows what to expect. The offense knows. Like, but you can't put this team behind the way they had in these other games where they were down immediately, like 5, 6 runs in the first couple of innings, and then the offense starts to press in like such a huge way, and it's just not a good game plan like you were mentioning. So they ended up losing this game. What's his face? Skeen is just he was so completely dominant, just in complete control of this game, and like you said, D-backs didn't help their cause out at all. But that was the second game, the game of today. The Diamondbacks lost this game as well, 4-2. Zach Gallen on the mound, went 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. His season ERA is now at 4.70. I didn't think he pitched all that bad. Like he did get himself into some trouble, but there's a lot of like dribblers. I think there's a lot of balls that just found little gaps or just went through the defenders, and unfortunately came with men on, so the runs kept scoring. But I really felt like he did just enough to keep this team in the game, and again, not having to use too many bullpen guys. Like we have 3 games against the Mets. They're playing 6 games in a row, and they saved the bullpen as much as they could. But again, the offense didn't show up. But what do you think about Gallen's start? in this game? Are you like me? Do you think he kind of got the short end of the stick there? That maybe the actual numbers on the box score aren't as look a lot worse than they actually were overall.
I think for the most part, Gallon looked really good. He was there. I don't remember what inning it was. It might have been there was one inning where he was spamming his curveball, and it was working. He was getting that swing and miss. He threw it 23 times. He got 6 whiffs on it, so not too bad. He got 15 swings in general on it. 6 of them were swinging and missing. Um, but it's that one inning where he had really high pitch count that I think is gonna skew how people saw this outing for him. Like they're gonna see, oh, he gave up 4 runs. Did he really have that great of an outing? So I believe it's the fifth inning. Yeah, so he gets a strikeout on Bart. Cruz grounds out. Then it's single, walk, single, single, and then ground out. So he threw, as they like to say, TMP, too many pitches.
Yeah.
That was just my one concern, and I think this is who Zach is. I think Gallon is a mid 4 ERA guy. I don't think he is the ace we all think he is. I think he over analyzes his approach sometimes when he's pitching. He just goes a little bit too cerebral
Yeah.
with it. Sometimes you just need to pitch.
Yeah, I think it might be like at least with batters, is see ball, hit ball. With pitchers, there's not really the equivalent except like just let it rip or whatever. That's kind of like the only thing you say. But overall, I think that's kind of what causes him to walk so many guys. Is just he gets too, I don't know, I guess too into his mind about it. Like there's one like you're talking about. There's one that they had a slider, one of the walks. Kind of spammed the slider. He threw two in a row, and then the next pitch, I felt like he could have gotten the strikeout on the fastball if he tried it, just because he just was spamming that slider so much. And then yeah, he the for the with 3-2 count, he threw another slider. Like he threw like 3 sliders in a row, and then he threw it again, and obviously the batter didn't bite, and then later that extended the inning. He got another run scored on that one, but I think that's something that you know who's catching today? Was it
McCann.
McCann? That maybe that's something that he could have mentioned or something. Like I really don't know what the solution is here. We talked about McCann doing some work with him. That he has looked better. Like you said, it's just kind of like this unfortunate situation where he has some games where he's there. You see him, you're like, oh, okay, he looks really good. He's getting maybe not the swings and miss that you want, but he's getting the ground outs, and that's kind of what you need. You get these ground outs, you're able to shorten your out, shorten each inning, and then you're able to go deep into games. Again, 6 innings. He went 6 innings. That's not something players do often, but when you just end up having to pay for it, like in I think I pulled it up here. I think it was against Brian Reynolds. He threw a slider, then a four seam, slider, and then he just ended up walking him. And he had him at a like 1-2 count or something like that. Like he had him, just was kind of spamming that slider. Like he was getting him to swing and miss on the fastball. And for whatever reason, whether it's him, whether it's McCann, I don't feel like it's McCann. I feel like it's probably Zach Gallen calling his own pitches again, trying to be too cerebral with it. Sometimes you just gotta trust your catcher, and if McCann saw something in the swing, whatever it was, you just gotta trust him and see where that goes. But again, not a terrible outing by Zach Gallen. 6 innings, 4 runs. This should have been enough for the Diamondbacks to be in this game, and unfortunately, with the way that this offense has been, like they really didn't do much. They didn't have a runner on second base since the 3rd inning. Like they got a run on third base until like the 7th or the 8th inning. They literally spent about 4 innings with just nobody out on and 5 hits. It's just not gonna get it done. But they had 4 walks. This team should have done so much more, and they just didn't. Like they just left way too many guys on base in this game, and so they just ended up with the loss. Again, Zach Allen ended up with a loss, which fair or unfair, whatever it is. But that's mostly the pitching side. I think it's a very good sign that the pitching looked the way they did. Again, we're not expecting them to go out and be 7 shutout innings every single time, but as long as you're able to put this team in a situation where they can win, and same with the bullpens getting saved, nobody's being taxed or overworked. The starting pitching staff did their job overall. They allowed 5 runs total in 3 games. Like they did their job, but unfortunately, the offense just didn't do the pitching staff any favors. I do want to talk about the first game where they did have the big offensive output. They didn't hit any home runs in this game, which is something that I mentioned in the last episode, where this team just doesn't have these big boppers that will come in and just kind of bury teams. Like you kind of just have to single guys or double guys to death or teams to death, because they just don't have guys who are hitting these 3-run jacks or anything like we've seen in other years. So they kind of just get guys on single, double, triple, and then you get a couple runs ahead. But I want to talk about the first inning, their approach against Bubba Chandler. In the first inning, they made Bubba Chandler throw about 40 pitches, and they only got 2 runs out of it. He walked quite a few guys, just could not find the strike zone, but he got 2 runs in, 40 pitches. Really seemed like their approach was, make him throw strikes. I believe he leads the league in walks, if I'm correct. He has like relatively okay numbers overall, but he is a guy who really, really struggles to find the zone. He has 26 walks on the season in 34 innings, which is not great. So it seemed like they were really patient and just seemed like, all right, Bubba Chandler's at 40 pitches. He allowed a couple of runs. Keep that going to second, third inning. He might be out by the third inning or a fourth at the best. And instead, Dbacks abandoned their approach and just made easy work of themselves, just swinging at the first pitch. There was a couple times they had a couple guys on because Bubba Chandler walked them, and then they swung at the first pitch. I believe one of them was Gabby, or like one was I believe one was even Gabby, and then one was Alec Thomas, just swinging at the first pitch, getting to the double play and just getting him out of the jam. So starting off the game, with 2 runs and 40 pitches, he went 5 innings in this game. 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And 92 pitches. I mean, this guy, as many walks as he gave up, he had almost a borderline quality start. 5 innings, 2 runs. You look at that and you're like, all right, I'm happy with that. You give your team a chance to win. And then, the offensive output happened after he came out when they put up 5 runs on Ramirez. And that was good to see. It felt really cathartic at the time to see them score as many runs as they did. Again, just maybe seemingly like they figured something out. They're looking a lot better in their approach, taking their walks. They walked 7 times in this game, which was huge. And then they also got 9 hits. They were 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They still left 8 on base, which is still a lot to leave on base, even in a game like this. But then the next game, this is the Torey Lovello game, I'll call it, because after the game, so I think as I didn't watch this game the way you did. I had to watch it on Game Time because I was at a friend's dance recital, I guess would be the name for that. But in this game, I kept seeing Paul Skeens 9 pitch inning, and I was like, damn, he's in the 6th inning. He's throwing like 45 pitches. Like, what's going on here? Like, how is this possible? Like, what is even happening? And then he ended up going 8 innings, and did he even get to 100 pitches? 97 pitches.
Yeah, 97.
I mean, he could have gone. He could have gone a complete game shutout if they let him. But unfortunately, the Pirates just don't roll that way. But then it came out later on. I believe I put in the group chat even before, while the game was still happening. I'm like, is their approach to swing at the first pitch or two? Like, why are they not even trying at all to see any sort of pitches from Paul Skeens? Like, I know the guy's throwing strikes, but you can at least watch a couple of them and before you start swinging. And then it came out that Torey Lovello said that was the game plan against Paul Skeens, which was just come out swing at the first couple of pitches, try to jump on him, and seemed like Paul Skeens knew, and he was just throwing pitches outside of the zone. Like there's some of those pitches were so bad, so bad that they were good. I believe Alex Thomas pitched struck out on the ball that was at his head. Like just did not look good on that one. Just no one looked good. They were swinging way outside the zone, and you see this and you're like, you tip your hat to Skeens. He had a game plan. He attacked the D-backs with a game plan, and he worked the D-backs against themselves, and they had a terrible game plan. Just didn't do anything. Couldn't get anything against Paul Skeens, and then you think, that didn't work. Don't do it the next game. Maybe be more patient the way you were on Tuesday, at least in the first inning against Bubba Chandler. And what did the Diamondbacks do? They made Mitch Keller, Mitch Keller, right? Made his day a lot simpler because, again, they came out swinging at the first pitches. Just you go look at the game day for a lot of these strikeouts. Those pitches are like 4, 5, 6 inches outside the zone. They are not close at all. The stuff that these guys were swinging at, and I know it's easier said than done. Obviously, at a major league level, pitches just move differently, but it's one of those things that you look at and you're like, maybe Torrey needs to have a meeting with the with with the batters and just be like, don't swing at balls, swing at strikes. Like it was just a terrible approach. I didn't see anything about this game, which was, if this was also the approach that Torrey made out for them, but it seems like it was because they kind of just looked the same like they did against Paul Skeens, and it's not like, Mitch Keller, to his credit, he's a good pitcher, but he's not Paul Skeens or anything like that. This guy doesn't have the type of stuff that he does. Like he's not blowing away guys the way some of these other guys are. Yeah, he just averages 93-ish fastball. Again, not throwing 99, 100. They just didn't make him work at all. But what were your thoughts on the offense? Like, do you think this offense was, what would the word be? Like, affected by the approach more so than them just not being good? Like, it's a hard way to phrase it, but it's like, is this a coaching problem or is this a individual player problem?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think whatever aggressive mindset that they're doing as a group, as a team, as a coaching staff, as players, is not working right now because offense has been very lackluster. I'd say since the Mexico City series, like they didn't look great in Milwaukee, didn't look great in Chicago. Outside of the like 1 or 2 innings in game 1 on Tuesday, offense didn't look great in this series overall. You have guys that are struggling, like Carroll's struggling, Marte's struggling. So I think it's like they need a different approach. Like something needs to change with the offense with this upcoming series against the Mets. Mets are not a good team. Mets are not a good team. There's no reason why this team should not be playing really, really good this weekend. So we'll have to wait and see. But the whole aggressive approach by the team right now, I'm not a fan of. It's just not working for me. Like, this is a offense that could be top 10 in Major League Baseball, and the way that the bullpen is pitching right now, scoring 4 or 5 runs a game could be enough to win most days. It would have been good to win all 3 games in this series. So instead of us being 2 games under 500, we could be 2 games over 500. So I hope that they figure it out. I think I'm not willing to hit the panic button just yet, but I'm getting pretty close to it.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I know we'd be labeled as doomers for, looking at the standings or worrying about this team because everyone's like, oh, what, like things change so early. We're nearing mid-May at this point, and all the problems that we saw early on in the season that were, little red flags. They were winning. Like they always say, like winning solves everything. But we saw a lot of these glimpses of this from that team. Like the first couple of weeks, they were completely carried by the pitching. This team was scoring 2 or 3 runs a game, but the pitching was doing well enough. They were able to win those games. but then pitching started to regress a little bit, look decent enough, and then um, the offense started to hit. Everyone started to hit. Corbin Carroll was looking like an MVP candidate, and Vargas, they couldn't get out. He couldn't get him out, and now Vargas is regressing a bit to the mean. Jose Fernandez, he gets a hit here and there. He's just not looking as good and hot as he was early on. So there's a lot of guys who are cooling off, and they're all cooling off at the same time. But like you said, the big three gotta show up. These three guys have to hit, and they're just not. Like this team goes as they go, and if these guys are not performing to their caliber, I mean, these are probably the three highest paid guys on the team. Like not counting Arenado, because I mean, at least the Diamondbacks are paying $5 million, but everyone else, Corbin is making like 15, 20 million. Cattell is over 20 million. Perdomo is around there, like 8 to 15 million. These are the guys who have to perform, and they're just not. Gurriel is starting to come out, and he's starting to hit a lot better, but these three guys are the ones who carry this offense. They're the guys who are, walking 300 batters or 360, 370, even close to 400 on base guys, and they're just not performing that way. And I don't know what the problem is, whether it's the approach, whether it's where they're hitting in the lineup. I think that might be a big issue. Like we see Perdomo when he leads off, he takes a lot of pitches, he's walking, but we've seen the problem with Cattell. He's just swinging a lot of bad pitches, but also he's just barreling up the ball and hitting him super hard, but it's just going straight to defenders. And with that, it's like you can't really do much except just wait until it eventually evens out. And with Corbin, just way too many strikeouts. He just does not look good at all. Too much swing and miss. He's swinging at bad pitches, and like you said, in a couple of weeks, for his average to go down that much, like it's at this point, I'm starting to get concerned. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, send it back to Reno or do whatever." I'm like, that at this point, that's not going to happen. But it is something to keep in mind or to look at, and just is this a slump, or do we really have to be worried about
I'm wondering
Corbin
if his back is still hurt from when he got hurt
from that
against
Blue Jays,
Toronto.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It could be like him overcompensating something. So I don't know about that, but yeah, these guys have to really, really have to start hitting, because if the pitching is going to be decent, I mean, who else is going to carry this team? Like you're going to be relying on the corpse of Arenado. I mean, he has been hitting well. I won't say that, but some of the advanced measures show that he has been getting a bit lucky. Like he is going to regress eventually. He's not going to be hitting 270 like he is. But with a lot of these other guys, again, Vargas isn't going to be hitting 400. Like a lot of these guys are going to regress. But
Vargas
then,
has regressed a little bit since his hitting streak ended.
yeah, yeah, he's about what 360 or 370 or
Correct.
something. Yeah,
Yep. He's
which is a
360.
huge drop off. That's like a 40-point drop off, which is going to happen when you're hitting 400. You have one bad game and you drop like 80 or like 20 points. Like that's just how that happens when you're that high up. But Alex is just not hitting at all. Barossa, he started off hot, but he also is not hitting. McCann isn't hitting. Gabby is doing okay. Again, he was injured, so you can give him a little bit of leeway. Same Gurriel, injuries, you give them these guys a little bit of leeway, but some of these other role players are just not hitting either. And, you're starting to look at the way this team is, you know, on the field, and you're starting to feel less and less confident as the days go by that they're going to be able to, slug their way or hit their way to wins. And again, like maybe it's the approach, like stop swinging at the first two pitches of the game or at that you bat at. Like, what's the solution here?
Different approach.
Yeah.
Like uh, again, I don't know if it's a daily game plan that they keep trying to run back with just being really aggressive at the plate, like swinging at those first two or three pitches. Is it each player? Like, is everyone just playing poorly at the exact same time, which seems very odd that you'd have like nine guys all slumping at the exact same time. So there's just some things that they need to work on, and I think it's being a little bit more selective at the plate. Like, look for that one pitch in the one location, and hit it well. So I don't like, and I already said it on today's episode, I don't like the aggressive approach. it's not working right now. Offense is just not looking good.
Yeah, they really, really gotta figure it out sooner than later because they're 5 games outside of the NL West and they're 3 games out of a wild card spot right now. And teams that are ahead of them are the teams that they've lost against. It is the Pirates, it is the Brewers, and it is the Cubs. And again, you don't. A lot of people say like this is not the time to be looking at the standings or anything, but like haven't we learned anything in the last couple of years that having bad series against the teams that finish on top of you does make the complete difference? Like this team missed out on the playoffs because they had a bad series against both the Mets and the Braves, and the year, last season, same thing. They had really bad series against Cincinnati, and that was the difference. They were a few games out, and it's because I believe they got swept by Cincinnati
They did.
in that series, and they were just out of the playoffs at that point too. So again, you don't want to panic, you don't want to be a doomer, but we're seeing a lot of signs that there's deep issues on about this team, and who knows if and when they're going to get fixed. Like we just can't be relying on guys coming back to fix everything because for the most part, at least offensively, most guys are back. Like, are we really waiting on our saviors, Carlos Santana, Pavin Smith, and Tyler Locklear? Is that what we're waiting for? I mean, I know Lawler, we're still missing him, but he's probably like been May. I believe he's going to start hitting soon
Yep.
here. I believe that was reported by Jody Jackson. So are we relying on all these guys to come back? Because as of right now, I mean, the pitching isn't the biggest issue. But again, we're not getting any starters anytime soon. We're not getting Corbin Burns until about the All-Star break. AJ Puck is starting to throw off the mound now, so he might be back earlier again with the bullpen being decent enough. And it is a good weapon to have. But if the offense isn't doing enough, then it kind of just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think in terms of guys we're expecting back, I think we have everyone that we need. Like I truly think that once Carlos Santana is done with his rehab, I think they DFA him. There's no reason that that man should be on this roster getting at bats over Jose Fernandez. There's just not and it sucks right now that Jose Fernandez is probably gonna start maybe 2 games a week. But the way Vargas is hitting right now, the way Arenado's hitting right now, Perdomo's playing well, it's just hard for him to get plate appearances. Um, and maybe we'll get lucky and we'll face a string of left-handed pitchers, and then he can DH instead of ADC. ADC, I think, believe had 2 RBI in this series,
Yeah,
so he's playing really well.
most sack fly, I believe,
Oh
on
yeah, yes,
Tuesday.
and then he had a single in today's game. So yeah, um, I just I would I just think Jose Fernandez is just so exciting to watch. I just want to see him play more. So it just sucks that he's kind of now getting the Lawler treatment, but it's weird because he wasn't performing like Lawler did when he first came out. He's hitting over 300. Like he is dynamite with runners in scoring position. Like he just gets the job done almost every single time. That's why he pinch hits
Yeah,
late in games. I believe he did that Tuesday. Wednesday. He pinch hit for Thomas in the ninth inning, just because we needed to get someone on base. It was a 1-0 game.
yeah,
So I just hope offense can start to figure it out. I think in terms of injury, like guys we're expecting to get back, I think it's pitching. Like we're waiting for Puck, we're waiting for Jmart, and we're waiting for Burns. And Puck hopefully will be back within the next 30 days. Maybe June 1st, maybe June 15th.
yeah,
That would be nice. Burns, I think Gambo reported he's probably not till August, like early August, and then Jmart was like late August. So both of those are still pretty far away.
yeah. So I don't know. At this point, like I really, really don't know what the solution here. I guess is just I mean, the offense now has gone MIA when the pitching is starting to hit well, and like Scott Mack is saying here, like in a series where our bullpen was incredible, we still lose. I mean, we outscored the Pirates 11-5, 11-6, no 5. Yes, 5. Yeah, 11-5. So that was just something that we've seen in other seasons as well, although it was a lot more exaggerated. But you could look at those stats and be like, oh wow, well, that Diamondbacks actually lead the league in scoring, and then you look at like, oh well, they scored 15 runs in one game. They scored 3 combined in the next 2 games. Like that's just kind of the way these things have gone for this team, and I don't know, like something has to change, and it has to change soon because you don't want to get buried this early in not just in the division, but for the wild card as well. Like 3 games, not insurmountable, but again, if you're not playing well, that just can sink you further and further. And then, you get to June and you're 10 games out of any sort of playoff spot. But you got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think we covered everything here from this series. It was really great to see Paul Skeens pitch in person. I really, really enjoyed that. Like, of course, I wanted the team to win, but I was kind of going into it. I'm like, Skeens is going to shove because of how this offense has been performing lately. I knew that when you meet a slumping offense with a really good pitcher, typically the really good pitcher is the one that wins out.
Yeah. Just want to thank everybody for coming in here, everybody who's watching live. Scott is in the chat. But yeah, just hopefully this next series against the Mets can put this team right. I'm not gonna break it down at this point. It's just I think both me and Brandon are a bit tired. It's already late, and we don't want to keep talking about this team right now. But yeah, the series starts against the Mets. Hopefully the Diamondbacks can come away with the win in this series because they lose the series, they sink further down. If they just win the series, they're still under 500. So a sweep at this point would be huge for this team. They can actually get above 500. But that'll do it all for us today, and we'll see you guys hopefully Sunday with a series win or series sweep of the Mets. Bye.
Under the lights, the game goes down. Desert heat, but we own this town. Brennan Gabe on the call, with Josh in the back, bringing it all. Fastballs from the bats at night. 9 innings deep, we fight all night. Wins and losses, highs and lows, we break it down, yeah, that's how it goes. Dbacks, dispatch, turn it up loud. We rep the Saints, we make them proud. From first pitch to the final fray, we bleed Sun Tona red in this game. So hit subscribe, don't miss a